Hello, my name is Berlin, and I'm a collegiate Valorant player in IGL for my team. As an Immortal Ranked player, I've learned a lot of lessons and I've gained a lot of experience that I want to give to other players who are currently in situations that I used to be in. The topic of this video is a mindset change that I wish I heard when I was in the lower ranks, grinding to Immortal. The mindset change that I'm going to be talking about is that awareness is more important than your aim. Now, to start with this, I want to go over the misconceptions and false reasoning that players tend to go through. So to give a good example of this issue that I see within the players and even within myself is, this is a clip of me from around a year ago where I just touched Immortal, but I was like averaging around Ascendant. I wasn't that good, but this is like a perfect example of what I'm talking about, so I'm gonna let it play here.
One's right here.
Yeah, one's there.
So, in this clip, two teammates pinged exactly where the Reyna was going to be, and I chose to kind of float my crosshairs to the left and slow swing it. And from the Reyna's perspective, that's the easiest shot he's going to have because I slow swinged it. And the whole point of this is, I think a lot of players will look at that and they will say, dude, your aim sucks, bro. Or like even I was saying that, wow, my aim sucks. Like if I had better aim, I would have headshot this Reyna, and
one's right here.
it would have been great.
Yeah, one's there.
But the fact of the matter is that even the best players in the world do not rely on their aim, and you shouldn't rely on your aim. And let me bring up a good example. So in this clip, this is going to be G2 Trent. This is one of my favorite players, like one of the best initiators in the world. And I'm just going to play this short, like 3-second clip of him getting a 4K. And as you can see, like, he did not move his crosshair barely at all. Like, there's not much aiming going on there. He was just very prepared for the retrade, the refrag. Like, the first guy is very prepared for him to swing. That whole 3K was all preparation. There's a little bit of aim here, but, like, you don't need 4,000 hours in aim labs to, like, replicate that. And I think the whole point of me making this video is that a lot of players, like I said, will, like, whiff or they'll die a certain way and they will blame it on their aim and their like mechanics. And although yeah, your aim did probably have some part in like you losing that fight, I think aim is really easy to like work on. Like it's extremely easy to work on. Now you might be asking yourself, what does that have to do with anything? And when I think about Valorant, I kind of split the game up into like two sections. There's one section which is like, what can I do outside of playing competitive that is going to make me better, and then what can I do when I'm actually playing competitive, you know? And practicing your aim is something that I can do outside of competitive, and I don't really need to worry about it when I'm in the game. And my explanation for this is because like all you really have to do is just do this every day. You know, play a little bit of aim lab. You know, do whatever your aim routine is. Like everyone has a different routine. You know, do the Demon 1 playlist on aim labs, whatever. But like, you should be focusing on your aim when you're practicing it outside of the game. Like in this scenario, you should be focusing on your aim. You're trying to improve your aim, and also your aim will just improve naturally the more you play. Like you don't need to put a lot of like thought power into actually like improving your aim. You just have to practice every day and play. Like blaming your aim isn't gonna do anything. Like you're not gonna improve because like you already know what you need to do to improve, you know? Like even if it is like half aim, half awareness, like don't like there's no reason to dwell on your aim. Like just go hit the range, practice a little bit. You know, you literally don't need to put in any thought power at all into that. And I think, you know, like when you switch that mindset and start thinking about like, oh, how can I be aware of people, you know, then it's like you're trying to take something away that's productive from every encounter instead of just blaming your aim, which yeah, even if it is the issue, you can just go and fix it just by practicing. So now that I've gone over the misconceptions and poor habits / bad reasoning that I see players go through a lot, I'm gonna actually be telling you like how to implement, this change, or like how to start thinking differently about the game. And I think the first major point of this is crosshair placement. And I think when most players think about crosshair placement, they think, oh, I just need to line up head level where people are going to be. And that's half of it, yes. Like, you should be aiming head level, obviously. But the other half that, like, people don't really realize is, like, putting your crosshair in positions, especially, like, mid-round, like, when they can kind of be anywhere, where you're not going to get punished if they're in a certain place. And that's a little confusing, but let me explain. So I see a lot of players that will shove their crosshair in a wall, like they pretend we get the bomb down, and you shove their crosshair in a wall, right? And I hear a guy coming like here, and I can hear him, and then if I swing like this, yeah, like off the audio, like I'm probably gonna have him. But if there's any world where he's like out to the right or out to the left at all, and I full pre-aim my crosshair in this wall, I can be head level, but that's bad crosshair placement, because like he can, like there's no like exact place where he's gonna be. So instead I should like float it out here and then like slice the pie and jiggle a little bit, just to like be more prepared for him to be anywhere. Because after that initial pre-round, like if I'm a defender and like this is like the first 5 seconds of the round, they can only come here, but then after you get the bomb down or like the enemy team plants, they can be anywhere, and you have to be like ready, you have to be prepared. And like that's where aim can like bail some players out, but ultimately aim is very inconsistent, and you are not like only the top of the top guys really have like god level aim that are like consistently like really good. And me personally, I just don't believe in like banking on your aim or relying on your aim. I think most good players that play the game are just really prepared, and they're ready for people to be anywhere, and they also have decent aim, which aim will come with time and like training or whatever. Like you don't need to like focus on that. So the final point that I kind of want to touch on in this video is just like the application process, because I've explained like what you should be thinking about and like what you shouldn't be thinking about, like the good habits and the bad habits. But to actually like put this into practice, which I think is like probably the most important part, because it's like I can shove all this information, but like how are you gonna like start actually implementing this? Is I have this little system where after every time I die, I reflect to myself and I think, did I die because my awareness was bad? Did I die because my movement was bad? Am I crouch spring too much, for example? Did I die because my crosshair placement was bad? Did I die because my aim was bad? Did I die because my teammate mollied me? Like you have to reflect and try to gather the main point of like why you died. There's so many like factors to the game, but for the most part is going to be awareness. Like a lot of players that are in the low ranks that I see, like you guys have good mechs, I promise. Like you don't need to like keep focusing on that. Like you hit the range and stuff, that's good. Most of the time it's like you hear a dude tower and you're aiming here and then you die from tower. It's like that's not an aim issue. Like yeah, you could have like hospital flicked them, but like that's not, you're never going to consistently be able to like play like that. Like you have to be aware to some degree. Some players bank on their aim more than others, but like after every single death, try to determine what was like the main cause of that. Like did you perceive a comm wrong or just anything like that? And the second you start thinking that way and you're not just dying, getting mad and saying you need to aim, and you just like put all the blame on your aim, like that's when you actually start improving, because then you start noticing things, like little things and things that you can actually like think about and improve on. Because like I said, with your aim, it's like there's not much thought that goes into it. You sitting there like bitching about your aim, like what is that going to do for you? Nothing. Like actually thinking about like the awareness and like where you could have positioned yourself differently or anything like that. I think that's just such a like that was just such a big game changer for me. Like it's just such a healthy mindset, and like I think in my example, that really catapulted me from like a mediocre player to a good player now. And I think, like I said, that's one of the most important things that I wish more people would think about in their games.